Well, we will finally be covering the Seth Rich conspiracy. Turns out there is one, but not in the ways that some people thought. So if you don't know, Seth Rich was a person who worked at the DNC. He unfortunately was killed, and police say it was during an attempted robbery. Now that set off a lot of conspiracies because people started saying that he is the one who had leaked the DNC emails to WikiLeaks. Well, it's not just people, we know who it was, and now there is a shocking twist in the story. Now, Fox News had put that story out in the first place. They have now retracted it. The guy who put it out, among the people who put it out and did an investigation on it for Fox News, was a guy named Rod Wheeler. Well, Rod Wheeler is now suing Fox News, saying, you guys said I had some information on this investigation when I didn't. You made up my quotes. Wow. And he's revealing what was the actual conspiracy, which was to lie about Seth Rich's murder in order to distract from the Russian investigation. So who's the guy who put him up to it? According to the lawsuit, it is a guy named Ed Butowsky. He also goes on Fox News from time to time, but mainly he's a very wealthy Republican donor. So he contacted Wheeler, whose expertise is law enforcement. He was a former homicide detective and now is a crime analyst on Fox News. So Butowsky calls Rod Wheeler and says, hey, we're gonna look into this Seth Rich story. And in fact, even the president is interested in it. Now that is gonna be super relevant. We're gonna get to that a little bit later in the story. Now, Wheeler, a Fox News commentator and private investigator hired by wealthy right-wing investor Ed Butowsky to investigate the murder, in May claimed to have evidence of contact between Rich and WikiLeaks and alleged that police were covering it up. So those are some pretty heavy charges. And he said, that's what Butowsky told me, and we went to go investigate that. Now, the person who wound up eventually reporting it on Fox News was a person named Malia Zimmerman. She is a so-called reporter for Fox News. Now, she's not an opinion host. She's supposed to be straight news for Fox News. Now, she had two quotes from Rod Wheeler in the story. Rod Wheeler now says they were wholly made up, that he never said these things. So here is the original story from Zimmerman. My investigation up to this point shows there was some degree of email exchange between Seth Rich and WikiLeaks, said Wheeler. Wheeler now says, no, I never said that. Another part of the story. My investigation shows someone within the DC government, a Democratic National Committee or Clinton team is blocking the murder investigation from going forward, Wheeler said. That is unfortunate. Seth Rich's murder is unsolved as a result of that. Now think about how atrocious this is. They're basically implying that either someone at the DNC or Hillary Clinton's team murdered someone else that was part of the DNC team, Seth Rich, and is now using the police to cover up that murder. First of all, that's nuts. Second of all, it didn't happen, they made it up. And third of all, I mean, you're accusing them of murder, but I don't know, have they no shame? And I guess the answer to that is, of course they don't. And I guess now Rod Wheeler, realizing that he got played, thinks, oops, I didn't know they were gonna make up quotes about me and I didn't know what the plot was from the first place. So now they take Zimmerman's, what does Fox News do next? They take Zimmerman's article and they run wild with it. Then Sean Hannity comes and says, this quote, blows the whole Russia collusion narrative completely out of the water. Aha, now we get to why they're doing this in the first place. Because they think if we can distract people and get them to think that the Russians didn't put out those stolen emails, it was that guy Seth Rich, and then Hillary Clinton had him murdered, well then obviously it wasn't Russia. So we're done with it and we'll end the investigation. First of all, what a dumb plot. It was uncovered right away, not this part about how they set it up and who they set it up with, but the fact that it was false was immediately apparent, and even Fox News had to retract the story. So now we find out the details of how they made it up. So now we'll go to David Folkenfeld at NPR. Wheeler alleges he was told the Trump administration was monitoring their progress. Whoa, okay, this takes it to a whole different level, and this is not something we knew before. So apparently, this went all the way up to Sean Spicer. They had a meeting Butowsky did, and the guys working on this from Fox News with Sean Spicer, at the time the White House press secretary. Spicer now confirms that they had that meeting. And he said, well, I mean, Butowsky is a wealthy Republican donor, so I did him a favor and I took the meeting. That doesn't mean anything. And you can judge for yourself if you believe Sean Spicer's part of it, but whether the president's involved is also something that's going to come up in a second. But Spicer and the White House definitely did take a meeting with the guys who made up the Seth Rich story. So now back to NPR. Doug Witter, Wheeler's lawyer, is now claiming that his client, quote, unfortunately was used as a pawn by Ed Butowsky, Fox News, and the Trump administration to try and steer away the attention that was being given about the Russian hacking of the DNC emails. So that was the whole point of this in the first place. Let me do a quick timeline for you guys so you understand exactly the context here. And this is from Mediaite/NPR. So those two news organizations had this. In his report, Folkenfeld provides a stunning timeline of how the report came to be according to the lawsuit. May 9th, Trump fires FBI Director James Comey, who was overseeing an investigation into the Russian election meddling. May 10th, Zimmerman and Butowsky call Wheeler to say they have an FBI source confirming emails were sent from Seth Rich to WikiLeaks. We now know, of course, that's not true. On May 11th, Zimmerman sends Wheeler a draft of her story, which is to run initially on the network website. It includes no quotes from Wheeler. And later, of course, she inserted the fake quotes. May 14th, according to these allegations. May 14th, Butowsky sends an email to Fox and Friends hosts Ainsley Earhart, Steve Doocy, and Brian Kilmeade, quote, coaching them on how to frame the Rich story. In the email, Butowsky claimed the story would refute the notion of coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia. And finally, on May 15th, Fox and Friends covers the story in the morning after it was published on foxnews.com on affiliate Fox 5 DC. It goes national before unraveling completely. Wheeler would later claim that the quotations in Zimmerman's report were, quote, fabricated and untrue. So now we know Spicer at least took a meeting, but was the president involved? Well, we have a text sent from Butowsky to Rod Wheeler. It is now in evidence. The text says, quote, not to add any more pressure, but the president just read the article. He wants the article out immediately. It's now all up to you, but don't feel the pressure. In other words, if Butowsky is right, and I hope the authorities talk to him and get him on the record and under oath, if Butowsky was telling the truth there, it went all the way up to the president. Now, by the way, it would not be the first time that the president got involved in his own PR. Historically, he's done that many times, including a story that just came out today about how he helped to write Don Jr.'s statement on the Russian lawyer meeting that he had. So now back to law news. Even after Wheeler presented his concerns regarding the allegedly fabricated quotes to Fox News, he was told to think of the story as an important political narrative that would replace the Russian story, and that he needed to, quote, stick to the script. Man, there is a ton of stuff to investigate here. So I hope that investigators are getting busy figuring out who did this, because this is some pretty serious stuff. The accusation that foxnews.com published Malia Zimmerman's story to help detract from coverage of the Russia collusion issue is completely erroneous, according to Jay Wallace, that is Fox News' president. But listen to that quote carefully. It was written in a very lawyerly way. They're saying the accusation that the story was done to help the Trump administration is false. They're not saying they didn't make up the story. They're not saying that they weren't involved with Butowsky. They're not even saying that they didn't make up the Rod Wheeler quotes. They're just saying, well, you can't read our mind, so you don't know for a fact that we were trying to help the Trump administration. You can tell in their denials, because they check with their lawyers, if they did it or not. That is a non-denial denial. It gets better. There's one more from their statement from their denial that gives you a sense of what they actually have. They said, we have no evidence that Rod Wheeler was misquoted by Zimmerman. They didn't say he wasn't misquoted. They said, we have no evidence that he wasn't misquoted, that he was misquoted. So in other words, I didn't investigate it. So right now, I don't have any evidence that we made it up. They're not denying it. They're just saying, I don't have the evidence yet. That is a terrible denial. Well, how about Butowsky? Because he's probably going to stand up for this and not go into hiding or anything and tell us the truth, right? Well, interesting. Here's a tweet. Ed Butowsky appears to have deleted his Twitter account this morning, which probably won't please a judge. That might be destroying evidence. And you can see there, if you go to his Twitter account, it says, sorry, that page doesn't exist. By the way, when are you guys going to learn? People can get your old account and all the tweets in it. So stupid. Why don't you just plant a giant red flag on your account going, here, check this out. I'm trying to destroy evidence. Gee, I wonder if he's guilty, but I love his excuse. You're gonna love it too. On the phone with Ed Butowsky, he tells me he suspended his own Twitter account temporarily because, quote, people are so mean. Yeah, that's probably why. Not because of the investigation that's going on about all the lies that you made up and how it might be connected to the Trump administration and Fox News. No, it's just because people are mean on Twitter. You just found that out, by the way. Okay, you must be a real investigator. No wonder you were a Fox News analyst. And then finally, the lawsuit quotes a May 14th voicemail Butowsky left for Wheeler, claiming he had, quote, the full attention of the White House on this. But Butowsky now insists he was joking. This is the excuse they use every time. After getting caught red-handed saying something terrible or misleading or lying, they go, oh, that was just a joke. It's so funny when I tell you that the president is reading your article and you should immediately print it and you should make sure that you take off all the pressure from him on the Russia investigation. What a funny joke. That is a miserable defense. Please try that in court, please. If you like this video, you'll love the whole TYT network. Check it out at tytnetwork.com/join.